Hey, it's Doug Atkinson from Solutions Review, and I'm here at Commvault Go 2017 at National Harbor in Maryland. We are at the customer conference in the expo hall behind us, and we are here with two great guests, Karl Rautenstrauch from Microsoft and Randy Meno from Commvault, CTO. And we're here to talk about partnerships, and really one of the things that we've been hearing over and over in keynotes and so forth is how you get the data center to really transform and begin to connect the dots. And the dots oftentimes is now cloud. And I know you're here talking about Azure and how we connect that. What is a customer who comes to a customer conference like this really coming over to see and hear about from Microsoft?
Yeah, that's a great question, Doug. So we tend to see customers run the gamut of their level of knowledge around cloud and their journey to cloud, whether it's full public, hybrid, and it's most often hybrid. They will start off when they're new to the entire process, when they're new to the concept, with a lot of questions and concerns around security and around what changes versus the way that they do things today. So one of those important aspects of changes and how their life will be different is data protection and data governance. So one of the big reasons that we love partnering with Commvault is they provide a great solution in that space and a tremendous partner for us in that arena as well. So the early adoption customers want to talk about that, and then those who have experience with us or experience with our combined solution, they've always got a great question for you about an issue that they've run into. Issues inevitably crop up, or just what they can do next in their journey. So it's been a great experience here. We've been really busy in the booth.
Well, and I think it's really, the sense I have is it's not necessarily a cloud conversation as it is a business conversation, right? You're really trying to find out what the business needs are and how that's being driven. And how do you incorporate either a private cloud, a hybrid cloud, that sort of thing into some fairly, delicate areas in an enterprise.
Absolutely, absolutely. It all goes back to the business and what's the benefit in terms of less risk, lower cost, faster time to market. That's really what customers want to get to the bottom of. And then it's the how and what is the impact to me and my staff.
And so who's driving that conversation in the enterprise these days? Is it kind of coming up from the technology worker at the kind of mid-level, or is it being driven down by the C-suite?
It's really being driven from both directions. It's being driven from the IT pro as well as the C-level. We all want to help our customers with their digital transformation, and that often starts with a storage paradigm, just using Azure as a tier of storage. The transformation kicks in when we help move those workloads into Azure, whether they're VMware or Hyper-Vs that we're going to seamlessly translate into an Azure VM so they can actually move those workloads over. I think our CEO, Bob Hammer, hit it on the head yesterday during his keynote, where it's all about managing the data. And customers want to take advantage of the features and the environment that Azure provides, both from a storage and a compute perspective. We want to make that management of the data seamless and easy to make that transformation to Azure. And the key, as Bob pointed out yesterday, is we don't just want to help our customers take advantage of the transformation and move the data into Azure. We want to index it so customers can proactively do something with that data from an artificial intelligence and analytics perspective. And that's a differentiator that Commvault and Microsoft can offer our customers together.
Well, and I know Bob has been CEO of Commvault for 20 years. I just heard you've been at Commvault for 23.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have been working together for quite some time. How did that partnership come together, and how's it been progressing?
For us, we literally bet the company on Microsoft back in the year 1999. Had an interesting conversation with Bob Hammer and said, hey, instead of building what Commvault is today on Linux, which we're actually a few months down the road on, I said, hey, we should build it on the Microsoft infrastructure, then Windows Server. And Bob looked at the industry. I looked at it from a business perspective because most of our customers were Exchange customers and SQL and the Microsoft suite, as we had abandoned our Unix and AT&T heritage. Bob looked at it from a technology perspective, saying, hey, Windows 2000 is going to have enough infrastructure for us to do and build the types of capabilities we wanted to do. We called some good friends at Microsoft who were just happened to be thinking about heterogeneous data management around the same time, and their position was, we want to provide you the infrastructure to enable to use Windows, then, today Azure, to manage not just Microsoft apps, but Unix, Linux, NetWare, Mac, AS400, Hadoop environments, databases like Oracle, DB2, etc. So we found each other at the perfect time. So we took advantage of the Microsoft infrastructure, but still used Windows and or Azure to manage that heterogeneous enterprise while giving our customers that microscopic management of data so they could manage lots of little things and content just as easily as they can protect full data centers.
Well, and Microsoft has gone through a fairly significant transformation in those years as well. And now I know it's very much a different business than it used to be 5-10 years ago. Talk a little bit about how Azure fits into the larger Microsoft strategy.
Yeah, boy, I mean, it's amazing what's happened over the years. I've been with the company for about 4.5 years now, and the rate of change and the attitude change at this company has been amazing over that 4.5 year period, much less going back 10 years ago. And I think what our technology partners like Commvault see, and our channel partners, like some of the great folks that are here from CDW, Insight, SHI, some of our key channel partners, are also seeing us really live up to the partner-first strategy that Satya Nadella talks about on a regular basis. You know, we recognize that best of breed is the best solution for our customers. We make sure that we open up APIs, create an open ecosystem with every service that we develop on Azure. And I think that really shows in terms of how we showcase our technology partners and how our leaders inside of the company stand up on stage and spend as much time now talking about open source solutions as they do solutions that are born and bred in Redmond. And that is really a cultural shift that has made it far easier for customers to adopt Azure as a platform for their business going forward.
To take a page out of Disney's The Lion King, we kind of have a circle of life event going on here. As Microsoft, as it was constructed, leveraging partners back in the 2000 to 2006 and 2007 timeframe to ride on that Windows Server concept to manage data across the enterprise, I think they've gotten back to that now under Satya's leadership by providing Azure as that infrastructure and allowing companies like Commvault to build best-of-breed functionality, not just to manage Azure data, but one of the discussions Karl and I had with a couple of customers using Azure to manage data in AWS, as well as data on-prem. So they provided that infrastructure for us to enable us to build the way cool features that we do that our customers ask for on an hourly basis.
And so how are customers coming at the? You're just talking to them on the floor. How are they coming to this? I mean, are they looking to bring Azure in and integrate? Are they finding that Azure is something that they've started to dip a toe in the water and test out and want to see how it's gonna integrate with Commvault?
Yeah, I'd say we really see both at an event like Go. Who was it? ESG, I believe. ESG or IDC. It's terrible.
That's okay.
I'm going to upset somebody at one of those two companies is going to be upset.
I'm going to talk
that
about GDPR
up
pretty soon. We'll throw some more.
Good. All right, excellent. Well, one of the analyst firms. I'll do it that way. I'll make it generic.
That
works.
Sounds great.
One of the analyst firms recently surveyed their customers about what their first use cases for cloud would be. What did they find to be the most tenable options for adopting a public cloud platform? Backup and disaster recovery, optimization, and improvement were one of those top 5. Improving and optimizing data growth, addressing the data growth problem was another one. Both that we really tie our solutions together to help manage. So we have a lot of conversations with customers who want to either dip their toes into the cloud waters. Backup and disaster recovery are a very safe way for them to do that. They're a low friction way because they're already using some resources outside of their data center to do that today. Everybody has to have an offsite recovery strategy. So cloud becomes a really easy way to do that in a cost-effective manner and not sacrifice recovery time objectives and recovery point objectives based on the on-demand resource nature of public clouds. So we see that for customers who are beginning their journey as one of their first use cases for cloud. And then for our veteran customers who started with applications that were built on the cloud, born in the cloud, as we like to say, they will extend their infrastructure and move to a hybrid cloud strategy by introducing backup, recovery, and search and compliance in the cloud.
Well, and with regard to compliance and GDPR, I mean, that is obviously a very significant factor that global companies are going to have to start to think about, and I think certainly security, and I think Microsoft probably will hang their hat on their cloud security. That's got to be a consideration as well for a customer.
Yeah, I'll talk about it from a physical and a virtual perspective. GDPR, with Commvault's indexing ability to manage data based on metadata, that can help customers meet their GDPR requirements. One of the more advanced discussions we've had this week is around the Office 365 suite of applications for multinational customers, where they want an e-discovery solution that includes Office 365 data, meaning O365 Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive for Business, but they want that search across the entire enterprise that includes O365. Well, that's where we get to showcase both of our technologies. That's very good for us because we can enable that single search across the, I hate to use this paradigm, the heterogeneous, enterprise-wide, storage-agnostic, multi-cloud environment, which a lot of these customers have right now. So single search across the enterprise, let them meet their GDPR, e-discovery compliance needs, leveraging the compute capabilities that Microsoft offers with Azure. We can run some or all of our components on-prem, some or all of our components in Azure Compute, and the customer doesn't have to really be concerned where they want to run Commvault from. We're going to give them the flexibility to eliminate vendor lock and run Commvault from the most powerful platform they can.
Well, so I want to point out that this is the Commvault Go 2017 conversation. Next year, when we come back for 2018, I'd love to have you guys back and talk more about how it's evolving, because it's happening so quickly right now that really, in a year's time, I think the conversation is going to be even more interesting, particularly after GDPR and further evolutions in cloud. So,
and if you give the two of us 12 months to actually build new technologies, I'm sure we'll have a few features, a few key new features that we'll be able to discuss and talk about at next year's event also as well.
Well, great. Well, I want to thank you both for your time. This has been very helpful, and we will see you back here in 2018.
Thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Doug.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.